morning, everyone. Today I am taking you through a full day of eating while reverse dieting. I'm gonna take you to the gym with me in just a minute and show you what my workout is like today. Also wanted to chat with you about some interesting research on why crash dieting is like so bad for you. Here's the thing, everyone knows like crash dieting, bad for you, like eating too few calories, just generally not a good idea. Like you can tank your metabolism, it can negatively affect your hormone health. Like there's a lot of immediate negative side effects to crash dieting that like a lot of people already know about. We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about why crash dieting is literally making you gain more fat and why it's subsequently harder and harder to lose fat every time you crash diet. It's not all in your head if this keeps happening. There are biological processes in place that make it harder and harder to lose fat every time you crash diet to lose fat. So we're gonna talk about that, but first, I've been on a coconut water kick lately, so I'm starting out my day with some coconut water. I'm kind of a fan. I've been training in a fed state, so like not fasted training, a lot more lately since I've been on my reverse diet. A, just because it's more helpful to get in more calories if I start eating earlier and have like kind of an extra meal or at least an extra snack in there. But B, also like for building muscle and everything, having a pre-workout meal or like at least eat like not training fasted is more advantageous for building more muscle. And that is the goal during this reverse diet, is to build as much muscle with as minimal fat gain as possible. So having just a little bit of fuel in the tank before I hit the gym has been kind of my preferred thing to do lately. But today, I'm going super chill in the gym. This is because I'm at the very end of my menstrual cycle, so I could literally start my period any second, and so my body is in a state where it definitely needs a lot less intensity with the workouts. I just want to go to the gym and focus on the movement. I'm probably going to cut the weight by a lot. I'm currently in a phase where I'm training for strength, so like heavy weight, low reps, like 2 to 5, 6 reps for most of the heavy compound lifts. I'm not doing that today. I'm just gonna drop the weight by a lot, go through the motions, like really work on perfecting the movement and everything. So all that is to say, this is all I'm gonna have before I go to the gym, because what I'm gonna do in the gym doesn't really require fuel. And I would like to get to the gym ASAP, and I just don't have the time or the desire to make a whole breakfast, eat a whole breakfast, digest through the breakfast, and then go to the gym. Like, I wanna go to the gym right now. So this is my pre-workout for my chill gym sesh. People ask me how I train with my cycle while being in a reverse diet, lean bulk kind of phase, and this is kind of the example. And how I go about it is I listen to my body. Like 3 days ago, I went into the gym, went to deadlift, the heavy deadlifts that I've worked back up to. I worked back up the 205, which I'm super stoked about, but I went to go lift that, my body was like, no. And like I could lift it, but it just didn't feel clean. It didn't feel like my body wanted to be lifting it, which I know is a very vague description of how it feels, but like if you can learn to listen to your body, you can learn to hear when it's telling you like, hey, like we can do this, but like it might not be the best idea right now. And so I listened to that, and since that I have just scaled back and listened to my body when I've gone into the gym, and the last couple days it's just been like, let's chill, you know? And no, I'm not worried about being in a calorie surplus and it all just getting stored as fat and not muscle, because I'm not lifting as heavy as I theoretically could be, because I'm lifting in a way that is optimal for what my body is asking for right now, which is the best I can do and the best anyone should do. Like lifting heavier, even though my body is like, let's maybe not do that, wouldn't help me make more progress. It would be working against my body. And the goal here is to work with my body. Anyway, let's go to the gym. So it was definitely an abnormal workout for me. I literally just did those 3 exercises, but I just really went super slow on each rep. I focused on the form. I did a bunch of sets, so I was kind of more just like playing with it, feeling through the movement, that kind of stuff. And that was about what my body wanted. Like, doing any more probably would have had greatly diminishing returns. But now I am hungry and I am about to make a breakfast that I haven't made for quite a long time, and I am so freaking excited to have prepped the ingredients for this. It's my chocolate frosty smoothie bowl that I was like obsessed with. Was that like 2 years ago? Yeah, it was when I first moved into my house. That was like 2 years ago. I was making it like every single day for breakfast, and it's just like thick and delicious and chocolatey and like a frosty, and let's go make breakfast. Alright, I'm back. It's back. The epic chocolate frosty smoothie bowl has made its comeback. Look at that, just thick chocolatey deliciousness. Oh my goodness. I am so happy that I'm making this again. This is gonna be my new go-to breakfast, not new, my old go-to breakfast will be coming back. This is the best. So I was about to take a little handful of supplements. I don't take the same supplements every day. There's a couple that I'm trying to take regularly right now because I think my body would benefit from them. But today we have some NMN from Symbiotica, some NAC, some zinc, and some quercetin. And none of that really matters for the context of this video, but it reminded me that there's something that I've been wanting to add in to my supplement routine that I've genuinely just, I keep forgetting to do it. Like, I'll think to myself, oh yeah, I should add it in, and then I just forget. And that is adding in creatine. Creatine is one of like the most scientifically sound supplements out there. There's so much research to show not only its safety, like the only issue that you might have with this is some people do get digestive issues with creatine, in which case maybe don't take it, but there's also so much research on its efficacy. What it's most well known for is its ability to help the body build muscle. And since I am actively eating in a small surplus in order to speed up my metabolism and hopefully build some muscle, this would be a really helpful supplement to be taking. Like, there's literally no reason that I haven't taken it before now. I should have been taking it this whole time. I'm going to try to continue to take it regularly. But there's also a lot of new research suggesting that it's even more of like an all-around health supplement. Like, it has a lot of cognitive benefits, particularly for people that aren't getting enough dietary creatine. So if you don't eat a lot of meat, which is where you get most of your creatine, then you might really benefit from creatine supplementation. But basically, there's just a lot of research out there showing a lot of different benefits of creatine. So I'm very excited to add this in. No affiliation with, I don't even know what brand this is, Muscle Beast. As far as I'm aware, most creatines are pretty solid because like creatine is pretty consistently creatine no matter what. But all this is to say, I'm adding creatine into my supplement regimen and will hopefully remember to do it consistently and stick with it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I am so excited for my lunch. The last like week or two as I've been reverse dieting, adding in more calories, having more like space to kind of play with my food a little bit, I've been trying to like transition back to the old Marissa way of eating that I really loved and really enjoyed. And this is just, I feel like, such a classic Marissa kind of snacky lunch. I guess classic Marissa usually just eats a giant breakfast and a giant dinner, but we're having lunch today. Whatever. But I have some leftover baked chicken thigh, which is one of my like top 3 favorite foods on the planet. I don't know why. It's like candy to me. I love it. Then I made a tiny little quesadilla with some cashew cheese and turkey. And then I have cucumbers and Who Kitchen crackers to eat with some hummus. So I'm gonna eat this while we talk about why crash diets make it so much harder to diet in the future and why you really just need to abandon the concept of fast weight loss. Like if you're ever tempted to want to lose weight and you just want to go like, I want to do this as fast as possible, just come back to this video and watch this, because hopefully it will convince you to never do that. This is so good. You know what would make this whole meal better? A kombucha. BRB. Best noise ever. Now we can get started. So first important thing to know is that adipose tissue, or your fat tissue, actually functions like an organ. It's not just some static tissue that has no other purpose in the body other than to make you look fat. Your adipose tissue integrates and sends out hormonal signals. It sends out adipokines. It communicates with the brain, and it communicates with all other organ systems in your body. So it's not just some like inanimate static thing. And it's also important to understand that our fat tissue is here to help us survive. And when we were evolving, it evolved with us to maximize our survival potential. Thus, it evolved in an environment where food could be scarce. And we did go through phases of starvation. And the body's way of dealing with phases of starvation is trying to prevent future starvation. So the body is primed to understand, like, if you are starving, it wants to make sure that doesn't happen again. So what happens when you lose fat and then regain it rapidly is you actually gain more fat cells back than you had before. And you cannot reduce the number of fat cells in your body. When you lose fat, they just shrink. So every time you regain weight and gain new fat cells, you are gaining more fat cells that cannot go away. So I want to give you guys a very clear demonstration of how this works with a rat study that actually just showed this whole process. So the study took a bunch of rats that were about 700 grams of total body weight. These rats had about 37 million fat cells to start with, and the size of the fat cells was about 103 microns. Then they put these rats on a calorie-restricted diet. These rats, of course, lost weight, and after the calorie restriction were about 600 grams, so they lost about 1/7 of their body weight. The number of fat cells stayed approximately the same. They measured 39 million fat cells, but the fat cells had shrunk down to the size of 86 microns. So they didn't lose number of fat cells, but the fat cells shrunk. That is how weight loss works. But then they let the rats eat ad libitum. So they're just like, here's all the food, eat whatever you want. Of course, they gained weight, not only because they were hungry, but also because they had a lower metabolic rate thanks to the period of caloric restriction. Now, here's where things get interesting and make it very clear why crash dieting and regaining the weight puts you in a much worse position than when you started. When the rats were allowed to eat ad libitum, of course, they gained weight. When they got up to about 620 grams, the number of fat cells that were in their body had increased by about 40%. It went up to about 50 million fat cells, but the size had stayed approximately the same. It was at about 80 microns. And this process of creating new fat cells is called pre-adipocyte differentiation. Now, pre-adipocytes don't normally turn into fully fledged adipose tissue. Normally, pre-adipocytes would only become adipocytes if you became so obese that your body needed to create more tissue to store more energy. But this can also happen when you're in an energy deficit, and then there's a huge flux of energy when you start eating normally again. It affects your hormones in such a way that it primes the body to create new adipocytes. The more fat cells or adipocytes you have, the greater potential your body has for energy storage, i.e. the easier it is to store more fat. But you might be saying, but Marissa, they started at 700 grams, now they're 620 grams. They lost weight, they're gonna be leaner, like who cares? But this isn't where it ends. This is just where the pre-adipocyte differentiation ended. They made it up to about 55 million fat cells, up from 37 million. But because of the hormonal shifts that came with calorie restriction and the shrinking of the adipocytes, the rats were still hungry, so they kept eating. And when they returned to their original body weight of 700 grams, they now had 55 million fat cells, and the size of the fat cells at that point was about 94 microns. So they returned to their original fat mass, but the size of the fat cells were still smaller than they originally were, which means these fat cells were secreting less leptin than they originally were. Now, leptin is a hormone secreted by fat cells that help the body regulate its weight. Leptin is what tells your brain that when you have enough fat stored, you can stop eating, at least stop eating like excess, and burn calories at a normal rate. So secreting less leptin is going to signal to your body that you're still in a calorie deficit. Even though these rats had their original weight restored, their brain was still thinking, I'm still in a calorie deficit, I still need to eat more. So these rats ended up gaining overshoot weight. By the time they stopped eating in a surplus, they were at 740 grams. Now, with 55 million fat cells, and the size of the fat cells returned exactly to how big they were at the beginning, so 103 microns. So they have 40% more fat cells that are the same size as they originally were. So basically, due to the hormonal shifts that occurred first from eating in a calorie deficit and losing weight, and then coupling that with the huge energy flux of eating ad libitum, they're eating whatever they were hungry for, these rats ended up regaining weight and continuing to gain weight until the size of the fat cells was restored, but they also gained more fat cells in the process, so they ended up fatter. So basically, if you are in a cycle of yo-yo dieting, you need to get out of it, because every time you rapidly lose weight and gain it back, you are literally making it harder and harder and harder for yourself to lose the weight and keep it off. And my recommendation for breaking this cycle is do the opposite of what you've been doing. Clearly, yo-yo dieting doesn't work, or else it wouldn't be called yo-yo dieting. You wouldn't be doing it back and forth if it worked the first time. But people get so stuck on this idea that these crash diets or like losing weight fast is the best, it makes them the most successful, or it's nice to get fast results. So like you get hooked on that idea of getting these fast results, and it never works. So you have to do something different. And my recommendation is, instead of dieting, reverse diet. That's the process I'm doing right now. It's a process I take most of my clients through, because most people, if they've been trying to lose weight during their life, need to do a reverse diet, because dieting slows down your metabolism, reverse dieting speeds up your metabolism. It's a process that gets your body working for you instead of working against you. And when you are fueling your body properly, when you are giving it what it needs to thrive, it gives you what you want, because you're giving it what it wants. Think about it like a relationship. Like, you have a relationship with your body, you have a relationship with your partner. If you have a partner, like, you can't expect your partner to love you if you don't give them love. Constantly trying to diet and stick yourself in a calorie deficit and just try to lose weight as fast as possible is like abusing your partner and expecting them to give you the world. So love your body, feed it, reverse diet, and it will love you back. And you'll have a beautiful relationship with your body, and everything will be amazing. As I've told you guys, I'm creating an entire course on reverse dieting. I'm very excited about it. It's gonna be probably like at least 10 hours of video content. I haven't scripted it all out yet, but like, it's gonna be every little detail you'd ever need to know. Downloads and handouts, worksheets for you to figure out exactly how to do it for yourself, all the good stuff. But I wanna make sure that I answer all of your guys' questions. Like, I want it to be the most comprehensive course on reverse dieting that you will ever find. So what I actually did is I created a survey that I would really love for you guys to take. Hopefully it won't take that long, but if you guys can fill it out, it would mean the world to me and help me so much, and it'll help me just be able to make sure the course is everything that you would ever need. So I actually have a new website, which is very exciting. So I will leave a link to the survey on my new website down below. If you guys don't mind taking it, I would really appreciate it. Even if you're not interested in reverse dieting, I'd still really appreciate it. It's a lot of questions just kind of about your fitness journey and where you're at. I wanna get a sense of how I can best help you, because if I'm gonna go all out with this course, like, I want it to be everything that you would want and more. So I need to know what you want. So this is your opportunity to tell me what you want. So again, please do take the survey. Also follow my new Instagram that's going along with it. I'm basically creating a new website and business to launch this course. And so I have a new Instagram. So please follow my Instagram. It's at Holistic Fitness Labs. Exciting things are happening. We're very excited over here in Misfit and Nerdy world. But yeah, check it out. Feedback, questions are welcome. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, shoot me a message, whatever you want to do. But I'm gonna go assemble some furniture. As you may have seen, this room is very empty now. I had 2 of my 3 roommates move out. I live in a house with 3 roommates, and one of them that moved out had literally all of the furniture. So now I have a new desk, not a new desk. This is my old desk that I had in like middle school and high school, but I moved it up here. But the house has been very plain and empty the last couple days. I've been sitting on an inflatable pool floaty as a couch. I'll insert a picture of the living room here, but we're finally getting furniture. So we're excited about that. Also, yes, that means Ernie is no longer with us. He's not dead, just doesn't live here anymore. I also might try to get a kitten soon, and I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna wait for like the right kitten to like come into my life, but I have the space to get a kitten now, and it might happen. Anyway, furniture building time. Honestly, so proud of myself for making this dinner. It's been quite a long day. It is later than I was hoping, and I was not motivated to make dinner at all. And my roommate postmated Burger Lounge. I was very tempted to just get Burger Lounge, but no. I had the meat thawed. I didn't want it to go bad, and so I made myself a nice plate of ground bison with rice and roasted veggies. And honestly, I'm very glad I did this because I'm very excited to dig into this. It looks amazing. So it's like an hour later, I finished eating dinner, and I have a few more calories that I need to get. So I'm gonna have a wee bit of dessert, and I'm just gonna like finish up leftovers that I have. I have literally 1 peanut butter cup left, so I'm gonna eat one of these. Somehow one of these is 75 calories. I'm not really sure how, but like, that's great because I need calories. And then I have one of these left because I put one on my smoothie bowl this morning, and I want to finish this guy. So I'm gonna have a chocolate peanut butter cup and a chocolate paleo brownie, and this will be a delicious dessert. I'll probably make a cup of peppermint tea as well. It's just like chocolate and peppermint and warm and squishy and just delicious. I have my cup of mint tea with a wee bit of Beekeeper's Naturals honey in it, and this is gonna be the final thing that I eat for the day if I don't have like one more cup of tea with a little bit of honey. But it is quite late, so there will be no more food for me. So I think I'm going to end the video here because that makes it a full what I eat in a day. I hope this video was interesting and helpful for you guys, and hopefully convinced you not to crash diet. If you have a second, please do go fill out the survey. Tell me all about your health and fitness journey and everything that you want to know about reverse dieting. I'll link that down in the description. Check out the Holistic Fitness Labs Instagram and give me a little follow over there. And if you're feeling especially generous, if you like this video, please also give it a big thumbs up. It really does support me and my channel. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please share this video with your friends, your family, and your neighbors. If you want to see more content from me all about health and fitness, you can check it out over here. To see future videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post a video, and I will see you very soon. Bye!